Today, we're going to talk about one of the most harrowing nightclub fires in history. But we're not just here to recount what happened. We're going to deconstruct it, piece by piece, to really understand the systemic failures that allowed a place of joy to become a death trap. Just think about that for a second. 60 seconds. That's it. In the time it takes to tie your shoes, everything changed. That one sentence just captures the terrifying speed of this whole disaster, and it immediately makes you ask the question we're going to explore. How on earth could a situation get so bad, so catastrophically fast? The key to understanding this is to realize it wasn't just a fire. It was a firestorm. It was a sudden, overwhelming environmental change that made escape, and even just rational thought, almost impossible. This wasn't some slow-burning situation. It was an absolute explosion of toxic, deadly conditions. And here's the most tragic irony of it all. The main way out, the front door that everyone knew and instinctively ran for, became the single most dangerous spot in the entire building. It stopped being an exit and turned into a lethal trap. And the reason why is a complete cascade of failures. See, this wasn't caused by one single thing, not just a spark or one bad call. It was a chain reaction, a series of completely separate problems that, when they all happened at the same time, created a system that was pretty much guaranteed to fail. So let's break down exactly what went wrong. It really all boils down to three big categories of failure. First, you've got operational. That's about the human procedures. Then, material, the actual stuff the club was built with. And finally, infrastructural, the basic safety systems that just weren't even there. And each one made the others so much worse. Okay, so let's start with the operational failure. When the fire broke out, bouncers reportedly blocked a side exit. Now, they were probably just trying to stop people from sneaking out, a totally routine thing to do on any other night. But on this night, that action had catastrophic results. It forced hundreds of panicked people towards the one main entrance, creating that deadly bottleneck in an instant. Next up, the material failure. The walls were lined with cheap, flammable, soundproofing foam. This stuff wasn't just fuel for the fire, it was basically an accelerant. Within 60 seconds, it unleashed a thick, poisonous black smoke that filled the whole club. People couldn't breathe, sure, but they also couldn't see. Imagine being plunged into total darkness, completely blind, while trying to find a way out. And third, the infrastructural failure. This one is just mind-blowing. There was a complete lack of the safety systems we all take for granted. No fire sprinklers to slow the flames. No functioning alarm system to give people clear directions. There was nothing, absolutely nothing, to stop a small fire from becoming an uncontrollable firestorm in a matter of seconds. To really wrap your head around this, there's a powerful analogy. Picture this. You're in a packed theater. All of a sudden, someone ropes off all the side exits. At that exact moment, a thick, toxic fog rolls in, and you can't see anything. The only way out is the one narrow doorway you came in through. Well, that's exactly the nightmare these concertgoers found themselves in. So when you put all of these pieces together, you start to see the bigger picture. This wasn't random. It wasn't just some freak accident or bad luck. This whole event was shaped by design, or rather, by a catastrophic lack of safe design. It was truly an architecture of tragedy. And that brings us right back to the central question. How does a place that's supposed to be about fun, about community and music, how does it become a lethal trap? Well, the answer isn't in the spark that lit the pyrotechnics. It's in the system that was already waiting to fail. And here's the bottom line. This tragedy wasn't an accident in the sense of being some unforeseeable event. It was the predictable, almost inevitable result of a system built on negligence. That fatal combination of operational, material, and infrastructural failures created a space that was just waiting for disaster. The real devastating takeaway here is that systems don't just fail on their own. Sometimes through neglect, through oversight, they're literally built to fail. And that leaves us with a pretty haunting question, right? What invisible architectures of tragedy, what unseen cascades of failure might exist all around us in our own lives right now?